Car air pollution is not as big of a deal as it may seem. Many people believe that car air pollution is a big deal and makes a big impact on the environment. However, this is not as much of a deal as you may think. Car air pollution does pollute the environment. However, it is very insignificant compared to any other source of pollution. According to CTIF.org, forest fires produce roughly 5 billion metric tons of carbon per year, while cars only produce 1, according to U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. This shows that while yes, cars do produce air pollution, it is insignificant compared to other sources. And some of the people we interviewed seem to agree.
Who am I here with today?
Mr. Fiorito, the automotive instructor.
How's it going today?
Good, very good.
All right, what do you know about car air pollution?
I know that car air pollution is a very big topic of discussion amongst auto manufacturers.
Do you think that car air pollution is as big of a deal as people make it out to be?
I think it is. If you have a car that is older, it can perform worse than newer technology.
Do you think that cars are really damaging the environment as much as they say that we need to go all electric and that cars are going to ruin the world?
We do not need to go all electric. We need to go hybrid. All electric, in my opinion, is a mistake. It costs more for the environment, it hurts the environment more than it does anything.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Mr. Kent, thank you for being here. I was wondering if you could tell us a couple questions about the environment.
Sure.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on car pollution and its impacts on the environment?
Okay. Well, I'm saying car pollution, any pollution, bad. But I do think car pollution exhaust is an issue because, again, if you think globally, that's one thing that's we have cars that are distributed worldwide.
Cars in the whole world, right?
Exactly, and it's just increasing. So it's just kind of a constant one of those factors where you're always putting pollutants into the atmosphere.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. What do you think about the numbers, though? Because forest fires actually produce more carbon. One forest fire produces more carbon than all the cars do in the U.S. in the whole. Do you think that forest fires are real? Do you think that cars are really as much of an issue as people make it out to be?
I do, but that's not to lessen the forest fires. You know, forest fires are a huge deal. They are a little bit more natural, and then that's still more just carbon, where the pollutants put out from a car is carbon, but also you've got you have other forms of carbon, other pollutants mixed in there, where if it was just strictly just carbon, yeah, forest fires I would say is definitely kind of a bigger factor, and that's kind of like an issue I think on its own. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
Go.
So who am I here with today?
Roderick Aldrich.
Alex did.
Okay. And what do you guys think about car pollution?
Well, I think, sorry, they do not make car pollution, it's not a very big deal, and they try to make it a big deal. For example, like when we get into the conversation of climate change, the world has only warmed, as scientists predict, in the last 150 years, 0.9 to 1.8 degrees over the entire world. And people try to make it seem like it's this thing that's gonna end the world. And actually, last year, the world cooled by 0.2 degrees because of all the volcanic eruptions. The earth cooled a little bit. So I really don't think that it's as big, it's a lot less of a big deal than they make it seem. I don't even think climate change is really real, in my personal opinion. And Bill Gates just came out and said it's not as big of a deal as they used to think it was either.
And also, there's been studies that show that electric cars are actually more polluting to the earth than gas-powered cars when their batteries are disposed of in the wrong way, which happens a lot with people who don't know how to use electric cars. And they're more dangerous. Like when electric cars catch on fire, those fires burn at like 10,000 degrees, which is insanely hard and dangerous for firefighters to have to do.
Okay. And do you guys think car pollution is as bad as people make it out to be?
No, I don't think it's as bad as it's made out to be. And the pollution that is bad isn't in America. The countries with the leading pollution are like China, India, the bigger countries. Because that's kind of the issue is we'll take it serious. They won't. We'll cut back on our emissions and they'll double theirs. And it's, it's serious. There's just no way to get all together and actually cut emissions. And you don't have to, because climate change isn't real.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think people definitely make it out to be that like in 100 years they think the world's gonna catch on fire because we're all driving every day and our cars don't turn off at red lights. And yeah, I think it's pointless because even if something were to happen way down the line in a million years, like some stuff is just inevitable. Like, and you can't try to fix everything that like isn't gonna be that big of a deal. And like that might sound stupid, but like if it's way down the line, who cares what's gonna happen?
yeah. And historians make it pretty clear, 99.9% of historians who study history believe Jesus walked the earth and rose again. So the earth will end the way the Bible tells us in Revelations.
All right, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Of course.
Roderick explained it very well. Well, yes, there may be a quote-unquote issue. The issue is not really real. We're an issue of today. The issue may happen way down the line, but we're not going to have to really worry about that. And that's how car pollution is not as big of a deal as you may think.
That's so dumb.